WW7N, KD7QKU calling.
WW7N. Good evening, Ron. How is the signal tonight?
Well, your signal sounds good. We may have a problem tonight. You know, Bob Helling had to go to that funeral, and so far he hasn't sent an email to open JITS. I sent Wade a text asking him if he could open the meeting, but I haven't heard back from him. Go ahead.
No, the meeting would be an issue. I can get on Jitsi and see if I can do that. I just have the transmitter set to the camera up on the hill because we're not going to have a switcher tonight. Let me get on that right away and see what I can do.
Wade may come through, I don't know. But like I say, I sent him a text a minute ago. I just remembered Bob might not be here tonight. Okay, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, this is KD7ZYM. KD7ZYM.
Cool, Dave.
We can do a manual roll call, worst comes to worst, no problem.
Yeah, no problem. KD7QKU.
Good evening, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the air with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That'll take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll find the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on. Also, a little background on our club organization. Also, you'll find a link to YouTube where we stream our Nets Health Wednesdays and Saturdays. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for this net. Again, for this net, 103.5. With that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM.
QKU, Wade just opened JITS KD7QKU.
Thank you. KD7QKU, this is Dave, KD7CYM. I'll pause here momentarily. And again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Roll call. Ron, KD7QKU, are you here?
KD7QKU.
KF7UHK. KC. 7CS Bert. Seven ITL.
With QN7QO is here.
WU7N.
WU7N. Everyone is truncating tonight. You have to push the microphone and count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi before you talk. I think I heard a double in there too. Maybe it was Wade trying to check in with Jim at the same time.
Man, I think I've got a video coming in here now. Off. Let's start with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave. Good evening, and thanks to Wade for getting us on Gypsy. And so it looks like there's 5 of us here right now. I see Jessica's got a picture on there of a cave, I guess it is. Or it's either that or a glacier, I'm not sure which. Well, Wade, if you remember, today when we were at, can you hear me, Wade? Okay. Today when we were over there at the Tacoma Ham Club, I was telling you about my DMR radio, and I was saying I thought it had UHF and VHF. Well, today I taken one of them and I tried to find UHF and VHF, and I screwed it up completely, and that won't work, and I never did find UHF and VHF, so that was an effort in futility. I have 2 of them, so the other one I hope will work fine. But anyway, that's sort of what I did. And then I had a Yaesu, VX150, little handheld, and I got it out. I hadn't had it out for a long time, and I was playing with it. I kind of found it in the box with the DMR stuff, and so I was playing with it, and works really good. I don't know where I do know. I don't know where I got it, but I must have bought it. So when my brother had Parkinson's, I bought it. Well, I gave him a handheld to use, and he kind of screwed it up. and I don't know if it'll even transmit. So then I bought another one. I bought an ICOM V8, I think it was called, and I gave that to him, and then he couldn't make the knobs and stuff work on it. So then I brought it home, and then I got this little Yaesu. It had knobs you twisted on it, and he could make it work a little bit. But anyway, I gave it to him, and it had a lithium-ion battery, and it had a charger and stuff with it, and then it had a pack that you put AA batteries in it. Well, when I got it back, when my sister-in-law gave it to me, it had the AA battery pack on it. And I asked her if she'd seen the other stuff, and she said no, she hadn't seen it, but it must have been in these Radio Shacks someplace. But anyway, she threw all the stuff in the garbage, so it's gone. So anyway, that's it for now. KD7QKU, back to that.
QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
Everett, this is KF7UHK with a really bad cold. I think I'm getting over it, but it's still kind of a long hill till I'm feeling good again. Just feeling really weak, and I had a fever last night of about 101.5. That picture is from Belize. One of our first time we went down, we had seen this video on the internet of a thing called cave tubing. So we went and took this excursion. You pay the man, and you walk up this trail about a mile, and you take inner tubes with you, and then you get into this river, and you go through 3 different caves as you go down this river, and the water's downright warm, even though it's cooler than outside temperature, but it's not cold. It's not cold like you think a river should be, and those 2 dots in the middle of the screen there from inside the cave, those are the last group looking back at us with their headlights on, because you need headlights. You're so far deep into these caves, you can't see anything without headlights. So you bring along headlights, or they give them out to you, and just a fun time. Really enjoyable, and that's what that picture is. Sylvia's off at work right now, so she's going to get off here in a little bit. And I may just back out because I'm just not feeling that good. And I want to say hi to everybody because you all sounded good. This is Jessica, KF7UHK. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you my 73. KF7UHK.
UHK, thank you for that. We got your 73. And we wish you well. Hopefully recover from this little sniffle episode. And let's go on down to Wade, W7ITL.
Wade, W7ATL. I'm just going to say, just as I see everybody tonight, but I'm going to go. You can skip me for this round. I'm trying to get some things figured out so we can get the video working. So maybe I'll have some content for me to share by the next round. And this is Wade, W7ITL. Back to Nat.
ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Wade, roger that. Thank you for starting the video for us. That helps a lot. Ron, HTs, man, that sounds like some awful luck. I don't know. Oh well, things happen there. Jessica, yeah. Thanks for checking in. You definitely do not sound like you are well. You sound like you have a bad cold. Weak and a fever. That sounds like it may be a little worse than a cold. So take care of yourself. Get better. Thanks for checking in. And cave in Belize, warm water, boy, I don't know. Nothing can go wrong there, huh? I'd be afraid of maybe crocodiles or some critters that might want to munch on my leg while I'm floating in this inner tube. That's I don't know. You survived it, so I guess it worked out okay. It sure looks pretty, but I don't know. I'm chicken to do that. So good on you for doing that. Okay. I might add that if I had a sufficient quantity of an adult beverage, I might think about doing that. But otherwise, I don't know. So maybe you were happy when you went in there. I don't know. Just a thought. Let's see. On a 1.2 gigahertz tonight, well, I see me okay. When the repeater interior was on, the picture was kind of going on and off. Don't know exactly why, but it seems pretty stable now. So thanks for getting that going, Jim. And back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
7QO, thanks for that. Let's go to James, WW7N in Bellevue.
Okay, we'll see if I can do this, push the microphone and give it lots of time myself here. I think it was Wade that put up the link tonight for the digital side. So thank you very much, Wade, for doing that. Ron, the saga of lost radio parts. I actually, there's two times there were oh no moments. One, I was given a whole bunch of DVD VHS player combos, and when I was given them out of this estate, I thought that they were in a box and everything was in there. I opened them up, the manuals are missing, and the remote controls are all missing. I remember taking a box out with a bunch of remote controls and manuals to Goodwill. So those are lost and gone forever. Second time, there was a leaking battery pack for a handheld that used to belong to my dad, and it was just such a mess I threw it away. But what I should have done, of course, is cleaned the outside to get the majority of the toxic mess off, cut the bottom off and dump the batteries out, because you've got that plastic that fits perfectly. And I did find one guy on the Ever Helpful Internet in the Philippines that has one of those packs. He, of course, wants a fortune for it because it's the only one I could find anywhere. Other than at some hamfest or something, that's the only way you would ever find that part. It's gone, but 101.5 is not a cold anymore. I mean, when you're cooking under the radiator that hot, wow, you really need to take care of yourself. If you're still out there listening, Jess, take care of yourself there. Maybe you should get a doc, go to a doc and get a few tests done, because wow, I've never heard of anyone having a cold with a fever. Well, anyway, the summer is moving forward, and my beautiful deck had its first pine cone fall on it, and of course it would have to be one that was absolutely soaked in sappy pine sap. And so, you know, I guess it won't stay beautiful looking forever, will it? Anyway, it's nice to enjoy it out there where it is now. Right now I've got a tripod with a big long stick and a 3-element J-pole that I'm using tonight, and it seems to be making the 7.5 mile, 7.5 kilometer trip to the T-side up there. So that's it for here, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let's turn it back to Dave, KD7ZYM.
7N, thanks for that. And we'll get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. And I'll pause in case anybody would like to join our net. You're welcome to check in and join our net discussions. Feel free. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, pausing. Hearing none, again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. Well, I spent a lot of time on television today. I was watching USA basketball play France. That was very interesting. Probably the last 4 minutes of the game was just outstanding with Curry, the basketball player for USA, scored 4 3-pointers, bang, 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 and the U.S. took the game completely. That was fantastic. And then I spent some time just before the net this evening watching the Seahawks play. Well, I wouldn't say it was really the main Seahawks team. It was kind of a rookie team trying to see how everything went together. But however, they did win, and that was good. And the whole gig for these three preseason games is to check out the rookies and see which ones are going to stay and which ones are going to get deep sixed. And so it gives them an opportunity for showmanship during a game. So anyway, it was a very interesting game to watch, and considering they did very well. So I think our new coach is doing pretty good with a hand on taking care of the new Seahawks. So this is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, KD7QKU again. Well, Jessica, I'm kind of like Jim. I'd be a little bit nervous about going through that cave too on an inner tube with a headlamp. I'd want to make sure that somebody went ahead of me and came out on the other side before I went through. And Jessica, there's been a lot of people, I think, sick up north on that Lyman Hill repeater. They've had something bad. Kind of sounds like what you got. They've been thinking it's another string of COVID, but I don't know. It's taken them a while to get over it. So good luck on that. And James, you were talking about your deck, and you had some thoughts once on what you were going to put around it for a rail, and I guess railing, and you never did, I guess, tell us what you put up for a railing around your new deck, so maybe you could remember to do that. Wade went someplace, his screen is black, so I don't know what happened to Wade, but he must, anyway, what else did I do? Well, I got a haircut this week. There he is, he's back now. I got a haircut this week, another $10 haircut. Man, I went over there Friday morning about 10:30. The guy was really busy. Every chair was taken, and people were coming in and leaving and everything else. I got a chair when I walked in, so I decided to stick it out. I hadn't had a haircut, and I kind of wanted one. And the guy's fast. I watched him cut some pretty fancy haircuts, so he's a pretty good barber, I think. You know, these guys have these new haircuts where there's no hair on one side and hair in the middle, or no hair on either side, and all kind of stuff. Well, he does those, and people come out looking pretty good. I mean, they look kind of weird to me, but they seem to be happy. That's all that counts, I guess. So, like, Wade came over and picked me up this morning. We went, well, he brought his dog, and he dropped his dog off to get a bath, I think, and her nails trimmed. He's got a really nice dog. And then we went on over to the clubhouse and sat around and met one new guy. Real likable guy, I thought. We had a real nice visit. We talked about everything on earth, except politics. We never have any political discussions over there. Anyway, that's so be it. We don't need political discussions over there. There's enough to talk about. So anyway, that was kind of my day. Then I came home, had lunch, and started playing with that DMR radio. Then Dave called me and told me the Seahawks game was on. My wife had already kind of figured that out. I think she had it on the TV in the kitchen. Then I got it on the TV on the patio. But like I say, I was trying to read a book and try to figure this radio out, so my mind really wasn't on it. Finally, she said dinner was ready, and I put all the stuff down and came in, and then I turned the TV on in the living room, and I watched like part of the fourth quarter. They had a new guy, Hal. It was number 6 playing quarterback. He was white, I think. It looked like a white guy. I thought he played pretty good. In fact, I thought when I saw the team, they looked pretty good. So. And I don't know if Dave mentioned it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they did win the game, I believe. All right, that's enough. Back to the net, KD7QKU.
QKU, thanks for that. Well, let's see if Wade is able. W7ATS. What say you, Wade?
I'm coming through, okay? So you might see in the background here, it might be hard to see with my washed out camera. I got a new toy. I got that at from somebody up in Lacey, or down in Lacey. Yeah, it's an iMac G3. It's the first one made. They'll pick it up pretty reasonable price, $50. Seems to be fully working. Even the mechanical hard drive still works. And it's got a whopping, I think, 96 megs of RAM. The 266 megahertz processor in it. It's pretty blazing fast for the time, I guess. As Ron had mentioned, we went up to the radio club at Tacoma today, and we got to visit with the folks there. It's a nice day. After that, I took Ron home, and then I went home and I coordinated the purchase, and went up to the Lacey, down the Lacey. And after that, we went to the Chehalis mall, or they call it whatever, I forget what they call it, but it's one of those budget-friendly stores. It's like their outlet stores, outlet malls. And did that, and then we went back home, and then went out to eat at Oddfellows, which is just near the house here, and had it's called a spicy swine. It's like a shredded pork kind of sandwich, and they had some music bingo playing. So I stayed for about an hour, and then I walked home from there, which is over by Safeway, if you don't know where that is, Ron. And I try to get on the net and get everybody going. So that's that. I don't have a lot more to say, other than I'm working on trying to do some things for digital. So hopefully that'll turn into something here soon. That's all I got to share for this round. I'll talk to you later. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL, thanks for that. And we get another ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim and Jessica, I understand why someone might want to call it a cold. That's actually my inclination as well. There's this expression in America where you're supposed to starve a fever but feed a cold. So I don't know. I don't think I ever want to have a fever. So I'll call it a cold, and I'll just keep eating, and that might make me feel better, actually. That's just my thought. Dave, yeah, I saw a bit of the basketball. I didn't see the whole thing. I also watched part of the Seahawks game. I didn't catch the whole thing, but I did catch the end there, 16-3. Yeah, that's pretty good. And our new coach, I forgot his name, but he was smiling there at the end, so I think everyone was kind of happy. Well, okay, the LA guys were not happy, but anyway, that worked out well. Wait, that's a cool computer. My wife actually had one of those, and it worked quite well. She was pretty happy with it. She sold it. Why did she sell it? Why did she not keep it? I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was a really cool design. Okay, it doesn't have the horsepower of the new equipment, but pretty cool anyway. So that looks great, and it's really good seeing it in the background there on your picture. So that's good. Let's see. I did some work around the house today, and trying to get some paperwork going. Went through someone brought some materials for us to take to a meeting, and spent some time going through that stuff. Mostly there's a big pile of books, so lots of new stuff to distract us, but that was it. Right now I'm showing 76 degrees outside, and I've got 78 degrees here in the shack. Okay, looking at the output of the television repeater, My picture has gone black and white. Oh, well, now it's back. Okay. What else can I say? I watched this video. There was an airplane that crashed in Brazil today. Today, it must have been yesterday. And makes me think of Dick. He's very fond of watching some of the accident reports on YouTube. Hope he's doing better. Last information that I saw is that he was improving, but still had a ways to go. Thank you for the report on that, Ron. Apparently the doctor said he's 100% on the improvement side of the curve, so that's a good thing. Wonder if he's up to watching television or anything now. It's anyway. We'll keep praying for him there, and hopefully he'll be with us before too much longer. I hope that he was given some realistic expectations by the medical staff. My neighbor across the street had some problems with his elbow, and they kind of cleaned out his elbow. He said the doctor told him he'd be up and running in about 3 days, but when he went to physical therapy, they told him, no, it's going to be more like 3 months. So he says right now he can't even straighten his arm. He can't fly his airplane. So he's kind of unhappy about that. But he needed to get his elbow fixed. So you got to do what you got to do, I guess. Oh well. Hang in there, Dick. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO. Let's go to James, WW7N.
This is James, WW7N, and I think I managed to set the machine here so I can hold up a picture, and that is the railing right there that I'm going to have to stain. I can't get a straight answer out of my painters about anything. I say my painters, I didn't hire them. The association hired them, which is a good argument of why you should keep control over as much as possible when you do these little projects. Anyway, Ron, that's what it is. It's really nice looking wood, and I want to put a clear stain on it. I heard one story, they slop paint all over it. I don't know why you'd want to do that to that kind of surface. But and then another story that they don't do anything at all with it. So I'm just hoping they manage to keep paint off the synthetic deck surface, which is brand new and looks gorgeous right now. Regarding elbows, Jim, no, both assessments are absolutely correct. It's just one came from the marketing department. That was the 3 days. The physical therapy people, after it's done, give you the realistic assessment. That's the PT assessment. So both assessments are accurate at the time they're given. It just depends on whether you're talking to the marketing department for the surgery clinic, or you're talking to the PT people after the surgery's been done. Yeah, that's America. Some kind of a weather change here, because nothing's changed at my site, and my pictures dropped the last couple of nights we've had just rock solid 1.2 gigahertz signal, and right now I'm seeing maybe a 4 drop into a 3. It's just all contrasty, and there's it's losing scan lines, and it's jumping around a little bit. So it's not really a very good picture here in Northeast Bellevue, as close as I am, with nothing changed. The only thing I can think of is there must be wind or weather up there on the site, or something going on like that. I am certainly enjoying the warm weather, but not too hot weather. It's really great to get out and do stuff in it. I was out today, out and about in it. And the only thing I noticed, I bought a salad at Costco and was sitting on the seat, and by the time I got it home, I could smell the salad a little bit, meaning it was kind of getting cooked on the seat. So I guess it was a little bit warm, but I didn't have the air conditioner on in the car. So I hope the weather continues like this for a few more weeks anyway. That would be nice. Anyway, this is James, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to our net control, Dave, KT7ZYM.
7N, thanks for that, and get another ID in again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KT7ZYM. Well, let's see, today I decommissioned a couple of video players. I had a DVD player and actually an old tape player, but everything now seems to want to have an HDM, yes. Can't get it out tonight for some reason. HDMI, there we go, finally spit it out. An input into the monitors. So what I had was there was 2 audio channels and 1 composite video with each one of the machines. So I bundled those all up and taped the remotes to the top, and I'm going to drop those off to Goodwill. Maybe somebody will have some fun playing with them. So that was kind of interesting. So that was one of the excitements. And then we're talking about caves. Gosh, many years ago, they closed the ice caves on Mount Rainier, and we had just gotten into using video cameras. And so, boy, the assignment desk says, this would be a good thing for you to go up there and get a ranger to take you in and see the ice caves and, you know, show what the people aren't supposed to go visit. So I volunteered and said yes, and when we got up to Mount Rainier, they said, oh, it's about a quarter mile down this trail. So they had personnel take us down. Well, it took 2 hours for that quarter mile to get to the ice caves. It was fantastic inside. I can't believe it. We went in about 500 feet or so, and boy, everything's blue and crystally. It was like being inside a crystal house, you might say. But that was interesting. Got those pictures, and then it was that 2-hour trip for the back to the starting point for that quarter mile trip. I don't know where how they measured their quarter miles, but with the video equipment, it was kind of a challenge anyway. Luckily, this is when we had the 2-part units. You had a big recorder that weighed about 40 pounds, and the camera weighed 25. But luckily, I had a sound person that came along and carried the tape recorder. But it was still a pretty good job packing in, but it certainly made the video look fantastic when it got on the air. So that was about it. This is Dave, KT7ZYM. So I'll send it back up to Ron, KT7QKU.
Thanks again, Dave, KT7QKU. Well, those that railing, pretty typical railing on most decks, James. It looked typical to me of what they built. Look, they're nice. I like it. That battery you had for that old handheld radio, I'm surprised that you didn't jerry-rig a battery. My brother always did that with stuff. He would save the top of the battery or something, or he would save the case, fill it full of styrofoam or something, and then he would solder wires inside and run them out, and then he'd hook it up to another battery supply that he had made or cobbled together. That was what his favorite thing to do, to make old radios type stuff. That old handheld probably didn't have DTMF tones in it or anything. Probably wouldn't even work on today's repeaters. But my brother and I think Bill, they both, he had a DTMF or whatever it was, toner. You know, you could set the tone and you could make it tone and then key the microphone and you could put the tone in or something. I don't know. Bill, what was his name? I can't think of his name. Dave knows who I'm talking about. He was a member of our group. Anyway, so like I say, James, I'm surprised you didn't jerry-rig a battery. At least see if you could get the thing running. Knowing you, you're good at that too. So those ice caves, yeah, Dave, I remember those ice caves. Joanne and I hiked up to them. They were there when we were there at Mount Rainier Paradise, and we walked into those caves. She never complained a bit. We were coming out, and she decided to take her shoes off. She had blisters on her feet as big as quarters or 50-cent pieces. I'll never forget it. I felt terrible that she had blisters on her feet. If I'd have known she was getting blisters, we would have never went in. She was almost too big for me to piggyback. Joanne's about the same size as I am, but I felt like I almost needed to carry her off the mountain. Her feet looked so bad, and then you get big blisters like that on your feet. It's just raw meat underneath there. It's they last a long time. I'm sure she hobbled around for a long time after that little hike. So anyway, we saw those. I don't know if they was as grand and glorious as they were when you saw them, but they were pretty good. And I remember they were warning people, even when we went there, not to go in. But like an idiot, we went in, or maybe I went in, maybe Joanne didn't. I don't remember. But yeah, they were falling in or caving in. I think eventually they just melted away and disappeared. I don't know that they exist anymore. All right, I guess I don't know what time it is, but I guess that's enough for me. Oh, it was 68 degrees last time I looked, and I don't have any wind or anything. KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, let's go to Wade, W7ATS.
Not a lot to share on this round. I'm gonna just turn over to the next person. It's nice to see everybody, of course, and I'll see you guys hopefully on the next round.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, that's a good-looking railing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would have been prudent to try to get it stained or something before putting it up. I don't know. At this point in time, maybe the thing to do would be lay down a tarp or some plastic or something, maybe at 1 to 2 feet from the railing toward onto your deck, so that in case they spill something or splash something, it's not likely to mess up your deck. Just a thought. Yeah, I could see how they might not be terribly careful. So good luck with that. And yeah, marketing department. That is probably right on target. It's interesting. Going to do various things which one might construe as elective surgery. For example, cataracts. They will try to sell you the deluxe model that's going to cost you like $8,000 out of your pocket, as opposed to getting the freebie ones. I don't know. I guess that's just what they do. And then some people don't have any problems, and some people have lots of problems no matter what. That's just the way it goes. But thanks for commenting on that marketing department. Yeah, yep. They got my neighbor good. Oh, and Jim, when you were talking about the video kind of going from a 4 to a 2 or something like that, right when you said that, I looked up and my screen was completely blank. Oh, and in fact, right now my screen is completely blank. It's so there's something going on. I don't know if it's at the repeater, but anyway, my signal is up and down a little bit. Right now it looks pretty good with color. Well, now it switched to black and white. But anyway, something's going on. But it's working. So can't argue with success there. Dave, the ice cave. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I would like to thank you very kindly for busting your butt and going and getting all that video.
taking all the pictures of the ice cave. I have seen that several times over the years on television. And Ron, sorry you did the trek, the expedition up there, but Dave, I appreciated seeing that on television. I saw that, and it makes it like I don't need to go there. Okay, when I was younger, I would have gone, but not for the last 10 years or so. And so thanks for getting the pictures. I know those old-timey cameras are pretty rough to carry. I have a couple of larger cameras here that I got from a couple of club members. One came from Tom, I think one came from Bill. From Bill Hoppy. Ron, I don't remember the other Bill's last name. Finney Ridge Bill. It was W7MAV. I forgot his last name as well right now. I don't know. My memory's not what it used to be. And then some days it seems to be worse than it usually is too. So I don't know. Anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO, let's go to James, WU7N.
WU7N here in Northeast Bellevue. So Bill's name was W7MAV. I saw that in the chat and was wondering if someone was trying to say hello to us. And so I got on Echo Link there briefly. But I also put a comment in the digital side. Are there still ice caves at Mount Rainier? No, they are gone. I saw those as a kid, and when I say as a kid, I must have been, I don't know, 8, 9 years old, something like that. And remember hiking to them. You know, when you're a kid, I guess you don't, if it was a quarter mile straight up or straight down, I don't remember that. But that part I do remember was quite a hike to get there. And I also remember they were teaching us things like, you know, when you go sliding down the slope, how you're supposed to roll on an ice axe and dig it into the snow to stop your descent, things like that. You know, things you teach an 8 or 9-year-old kid when you're going up the side of a dangerous mountain. The times were different back then. Anyway, let's see, the other thing I was going to say, if anybody has a beta beta tape machine, I need one for about a day. I have this whole bag of beta tapes that I got from a relative and have absolutely no idea what's on them, and don't really want to just toss them until I at least look at them and see what's there. They could be movies, I don't know. You know, I could just as well get off a streaming service, or it could be, you know, pictures of my grandmother. I have no idea what's on them. So anyway, if anybody hears about that, yes, you can buy beta machines that will run beta, but it's really interesting. The last time I went looking, the ones where you buy a brand new machine that takes beta, they're like studio grade, and they're incredibly expensive. So I guess if you really want a beta machine, like for your forensics laboratory or something, that's what you pay, and you get top quality stuff. I just need one for a day. So if anybody hears any great ideas about that, let me know.
7N disconnected.
I helped my neighbor with a problem she was having with a door. She said she was cleaning out her garage, and she goes, I wonder what this is. And she held up a brand new magnetron. And she doesn't know what the story of it is, but I thought, okay, this has got to be burned out. But I put it on an ohm meter, and it measures about 2 ohms. So it's probably was never used. Maybe it was purchased and never needed, or they found some other problem, or they decided to get rid of the microwave, whoever did it. But anyway, so if you need a nice new, brand new Sylvania magnetron for your microwave, let me know. I've got one now. I'm an owner of one. So anyway, well, I see we're about quarter till the hour here, so let me turn it back to Dave, our nav control. This is James, WU7N.
U7N, thanks for that. And this is Dave, KD7CYM again in Lake City. Well, James, I was looking at your railing, and it reminded me of a railing that my brother put into his house, and he also had to figure out how to paint it. and keep it from inside and outside, so you got all four sides painted. What he ended up using was, there's called a painter's mitt, and it's a mitt that you put on your hand, dip it in the paint, and you can rub it up and down on the surface that you're painting, as opposed to using a paintbrush, and that worked quite well to get the back side and the front side all coated with the, wasn't paint, it was stain that he put on. Then followed that with varnish and used another mitt. So anyway, that is one way you can attack doing funny little things like that that are difficult to paint. And that's about it. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So I'm going to push it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Well, that was quick. I don't have much more. It's going around kind of quick. I don't have a whole lot more. The guy that's supposed to test my backflow valve for the irrigation system didn't show up last week or this week, so I guess I'm going to have to give him another phone call. I see the note laying here with his phone number on it, so I don't know. He sounded really good on the phone, but maybe in reality he's not. Maybe I made a bad choice. So let's see. Been watching a lot of YouTube videos on fishing out here. Geez, I want to call it rusted, but it's not. It's a Point Defiance. So the Point Defiance boat ramp, it's just right down Pearl Street. It's probably a mile from here, but not very far. It'd be a perfect place for me to put a boat in and go fishing. Problem is they want $15 every time you launch a boat. Gee, many Christmas, you know, where you get old and you're on Social Security. I was telling someone the other day. So 20 years ago when I started using Social Security, it was, you know, kind of a reasonable amount. But now with inflation, you know, and the dollar isn't worth what it used to be, and everything it goes awful quick now. But they seem to Point Delco, I guess is what it's called. It's off the end of the park there, where I don't know what they call it. The water turns and goes towards the bridge, the Narrows Bridge. That point, man, a lot of people fish there. It has rips, it has bait fish. So you watch these videos and you wonder how many fishing trips did they take before they put the video together. And it looks like they were just catching a fish every couple of minutes, and they were pretty nice fish. Some of the videos were recent, you know, in July, like July 28th and stuff. I looked at one that was, and a guy caught a couple of fish. They weren't great big, but they were fish, edible. He was out there with his dad. He had quite a few videos, but anyway, the videos gave me the urge to want to go fishing. My son has had his, you know, big boat for sale. He's had two guys call him. He had one guy call him, and he didn't like the note he sent him, so he was ignoring that. But he had another guy call him just recently, and the brakes don't work on the trailer. And, you know, it's a humongous boat. I don't know how much it weighs, but I bet it weighs a couple of tons. And Mike has a 350 Ford, and it was all he could do to handle the boat. And so Mike said the guy's coming out this week to look at it. And he said he told him all about it and told him the brakes didn't work on the trailer, and he said he didn't care. And I told Mike, I hope he has a big pickup, and Mike said he has a big dually pickup, you know. So I guess maybe he can handle the boat. But it's, you wouldn't want to trailer that boat very far, that's for sure. So I hope this guy buys it. Then maybe Mike will get he wants to get a small boat that has a walk-through windshield, so you can pull it up on the beach, and then you can climb over the bow and get in and out. There's no dock there's a boat ramp near where he lives that goes into the salt water, but there's no dock. So you have to pull the boat up on the beach. So you need a walk-through windshield. So anyway, that's all I got to talk about. That KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Well, let's try Wade. I don't know if he's available. W7ITL.
All right. Well, again, I'm not really having a lot to share tonight, but I am working on digital stuff. I'm going to try to get a hold of a transmitter so I can start testing out digital modes for ATV. And also, I've been trying to follow the Colorado and British TV clubs to try to figure out how they're doing their setup. So I did join officially their net on Thursday, but I did listen to a little bit of the British one, but I also listened to most of the Colorado clubs net. It's pretty technical. Lots of smart folks on there. So hopefully I can learn something from them, and we can do some of that stuff too. So that's all I got really to share, and turn it back to Ned.
ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, I don't know anyone who has a beta machine, but my wife has done some dealings with a company that converts videos of various types. Typically what she has done is converted a couple of VHS tapes into CDs, and it would not surprise me if they were able to take a beta tape and convert it into a VHS or a CD. But they probably charge a significant amount for it. So I don't know how many tapes you're talking about, but if there are some valuable family pictures on there, I can ask my wife to come up with the name of the company that did that. You might just file that tidbit of information away and let me know if you want that information. I don't know of anyone I can ask who might have a Betamax, but if I think of something, I'll certainly let you know. Dave, painter's mitt. Now that sounds pretty cool. I was envisioning. It sounds like it's basically like a paint roller, except it's flexible and put on your hand, so you essentially have a furry hand. That's kind of what I'm picturing. I'm not familiar with that, but sounds like it would work. So that's the thought, Jim. But someone else is supposed to paint it, so that's really a big part of the issue right there, Dave. Anyway, Ron, trailer brakes. Man, okay, I thought that the big thing with the trailer brakes is that if the trailer separates from the tow vehicle, that's when you want the brakes. Like I had this little trailer, and it had electric brakes, and there was a wire that I'd run over to the, well, not an electrical conducting wire. Well, okay, I guess technically it would conduct electricity, but it's not hooked up to the electrical system in any way. It's just if it got pulled and disconnected from the tow vehicle, then it would engage the electric brakes. So yeah, you could probably tow the thing without those, but just have to be careful. And by the way, there was one day I was towing my trailer. I was coming up the 5 in California, and I was about by Weed, California. I'm going down the road, and I happen to glance. There's no traffic around me, fortunately. I'm cruising up the road, and I see this wheel pass me up, and I'm going, that doesn't look good. And then I look in the rearview mirror, and my trailer's kind of sitting on its side, and smoking a little bit. And it's like, yeah, that's not good either. So had to get the trailer, put the trailer on a flatbed, and we towed it to Weed, California, and then I drove to somewhere in Oregon. Which city? I don't remember which city it was, but they just happened to have an axle that I could get. So I picked up the axle and I drove it back down to be united with the trailer. So I don't know, but my brakes didn't get tested then because the trailer never separated from the tow vehicle. Anyway, that's just my feedback with the brakes on the trailer. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
Let's go to WW7N, James.
Dave, well, it looks like on the digital side I've got a pretty poor digital connection with 310 kilobits per second coming down from the mothership and only 3 kilobits per second going back up. That's 3, not 30, just 3. So I don't know what everyone else is doing tonight. My resolution's down to 640 by 360. Yeah, it's looking, let's see, estimated bandwidth going out of here is 599 kilobits per second. I'm wondering how they get those calculations. I'll have to look that up. It's great that you were able to listen to Technical Net on ATV. I'd be interested in hearing more about that, or where you got that information. Did that come out of one of the newsletters that we've been getting? I'm interested in, if it's not 3 a.m. in the morning. Matter of fact, even if it is 3 a.m. in the morning, I might be interested. Great Britain's about 6 hours ahead of us, I think. So anyway, whatever you're listening to that's got technical discussions of what's going on, I'd be very interested. I do recall looking, for example, at a plan for something kind of really creative. Is somebody in France was mapping a read-only memory over to a digital picture, to create a digital picture instead of using a gate array, which I thought was pretty clever. And so sometimes you get some really creative ideas out of those kinds of things. We got about 2 minutes left, so anyone listening out there, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society meets at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, Wednesdays and Saturdays, and anyone's welcome to join. This 2-meter repeater is our audio channel. Just for this net only, we use 103.5, and you can check in and check out or join the conversation. Just let Dave, KD7ZYM, our net control, what you want to do. So with that, let me turn it back to Dave for the last final minute. Go ahead, Dave.
WW7N, thanks for that. And it's time to pull the plug on the net for the evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for this net. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.